What's up, nerds? It's your boy, the OGGM. 2 o'clock in the afternoon here on the 31st day of January 2023. It's about 65 degrees and chilly here at Site B. Not quite sure what's going on in this picture I just found. It's got Strahd, a Colonial Space Marine. I think that's supposed to be Raceland. Elminster, Mordekainen, and I don't know, is this supposed to be a Dark Sun tiefling or something? And a dragon. Really just not sure. I mean, everybody on here kind of makes sense except for the Space Marine. What is this guy doing here? Anyway, that's not why I'm talking about this. So I'm starting to get reports and concerned texts and stuff that there are some commentators out there in the post flames of the OGL nonsense of the past 3 weeks are starting to give people crap because they still want to play 5th edition. And if you're doing that and you're in the sound of my voice, yeah, don't. If people want to play 5th edition, let them for as long as they can. This was never about playing 5th edition or not playing 5th edition. In fact, part of it was so that people could keep playing 5th edition, that they kept supporting 5e, that third-party creators could continue to make 5e product, that people could continue to enjoy 5e and make 5e cosplay and 5e pantomime and sell stuff on Etsy that was connected to 5e and buy their 5e books. We were never trying to destroy 5e or get people to feel guilty about playing 5e. So if you're a commentator and you're giving people crap because they still want to play 5e after all this, just why? Stop. What do you care? Let them. It's their money. It shouldn't bother you. It doesn't bother me. People still want to play 5e. Great. I've made it clear I don't want to run 5e. I don't really want to play 5e. But then, I suppose if it was the only thing going and people are like, dude, we're playing 5e no matter what, I'd be like, well, it's still playing. I guess I'll show up. I mean, I've always been honest that I was never really a big fan about 5e for my own reasons. But it never had anything to do, I was in some really good games that were based on 5e and some really crappy games that were based on 5e. And of the few 5e games I ran, I would say I had 2 good ones and a couple crappy ones. And generally, my opinion of 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons hasn't changed. One, it's not D&D, but that's okay. Yeah, I don't know if it was ever actually meant to be D&D. It's something else. It's its own beast, and that's as it should be. In a perfect world, they would have released the Player's Handbook, Monster Manual, DM's Guide for 5e, and then just said, let's start this in Spelljammer and make that the official starting setting for 5e. And then, if this thing catches on, we'll make other adventures and stuff like that. But, I mean, for the mechanics, 5e is great mechanics. It's just not D&D. It's mechanics for something else, which is great. That's fine. I mean, there's plenty of things that do work with the 5e engine. This was never about 5e. This was never about rolling d20s. This was never about people being told they can't play 5e, or we're coming for their DM's crown, or we think they're horrible human beings because they want to keep playing 5e. They keep wanting to call us that, but that's fine. Dude, this was all about love for D&D, if nothing else, and the freedom for D&D and the ability to let people continue to play whatever way they wanted to play. And if they want to cosplay like Strahd, there shouldn't be anything saying they can't. And if they want to write erotic fiction about Mordekainen, they should be able to. And if they want to make a third-party 5e product and sell it on DM's Guild or Big Geek Emporium like I do or whatever, they should be able to. And they should be able to make stuff for 4e and 3e and 2e and 1e and 0e. And they should be able to have the freedom to use the D20 engine in all its many forms to make whatever they want, be it superheroes, space, underwater, Old West, horror, whatever, and not have anybody tell them, oh, you can't do that anymore, even though we let you do this for the past 23 years, but now we're saying you can't. That's what this was about, So this is never, screw you because you play 5e and we're coming to burn your 5e books. And if anybody's out there still, talking shit about people, excuse my language, because they are playing 5e, stop, because you're misrepresenting things. And if anybody is out there spreading the rumor that we were, trying to come and get you and going to burn your books and telling you can't play anymore because this is all about, trying to kill D&D. Again, that's not what it was about. So stop spreading that because it's misinformation. Like, this whole past 4 weeks was about because Wizards of the Coast wanted to stranglehold the future of the hobby, and we were all like, no, let us play any way we want. You have for 23 years. Why are you stopping now? So hopefully, I would love to say in a perfect world we could just, mend whatever fences we have and just get back to playing a silly elf game about, idiots with sticks. But I don't know if we can. That's probably the worst damage that Wizards of the Coast has done to all of this. It's not, that they've ruined their own personal stuff, and the way people view them, but it's driven another wedge in the community that already had so many wedges in it, and that's the, if we're talking about Gygax's dream, that's not what Gary wanted. Gary wanted people just to sit down from all walks of life and play silly games. From everything I've read about him and everything I know about people who've talked to him and met him, if Gygax's legacy is anything, it's just playing. Just play games about the Old West or, Napoleonics or World War II or horror or space or fantasy or superheroes or whatever. And isn't it great that there has been this system in place for the past 23 years that let us play all these infinite amount of genres and use a system that we were all familiar with. And then Wizards of the Coast wanted to take it away. And we said no. And that's what it was all about. So, yeah. Anyways, that's it. It's just really upsetting to, I know there's people talking crap about us. And, saying that crap like, oh, we were going to burn your books and come into your houses and stuff like that, which is never what this was about. And I'm hoping that, this is a myth and it's not true. And there's not commentators out there who are saying crap about people because they want to still play. Because if people still want to play 5e, let them play 5e. I would love to say, no, I don't want to run 5e. I want to run other games. But, if that's the only audience I could find, then I'll be like, fine, I'll run 5e. As close to 5e as it's going to be. I don't know, because, I'm in this weird parallel universe where I never actually, even though I played in about a dozen different 5e campaigns over the past several years, I don't know if I've actually played 5e. I've always played somebody trying to make 5e into something else that it isn't. But that's probably the topic for a separate blog. Anyways, yeah, just tossing that out there if anybody, wants to talk about it. And says, hopefully this is over and we can move on to whatever the next nonsense is. At least Wizards of the Coast has found a way for us to keep talking about them, so victory? Question mark? Anyways, that's it. I'm the OGGM. If you appreciate the nonsense that's coming out of my mouth, let me know. If you never want to hear me talk about this topic ever again, let me know. Shameless self-promotion. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe yet, please subscribe. Help me hit whatever the next goal is, 1 million subs or whatever, by the end of the year. That'd be really cool. Remember, this is my job, and I got a cat to feed, so if you're feeling generous, maybe consider supporting me. And the best way to support the OGGM Adventures right now is to buy my merch on Big Geek Emporium. Yeah, links down below if you want to get some great, cheap adventure stuff for your D&D campaign. Yeah, have a great rest of the day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. It'll be the first day of February, which means Valentine's Day. God help us. All right, see ya.